The Quranic account, Surah al-Buruj verses 4 to 8 of Surah al-Buruj refer to a group of people who were persecuted for their belief in Allah. The Quran mentions a group of oppressors who dug trenches, filled them with fire, and then cast believers into them for refusing to abandon their faith in Allah. The oppressors were condemned for their cruelty, while the believers are praised for their steadfastness. Cursed were the people of the trench, of fire fed with fuel, when they sat by it, and they witnessed what they were doing against the believers. They had nothing against them except the story in Islamic tradition. Though the Quran provides only a brief reference to this event, Islamic scholars and commentators, such as Ibn Kathir and others, have elaborated on the historical context behind the verses based on various narrations. One widely accepted account links the story to the persecution of monotheists by a tyrant king in the Najran region of southern Arabia. This took place several centuries before the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The historical background: King Dhu Nuwas of Yemen. According to the narrations, this event occurred during the reign of a Himyarite king in Yemen, known as Dhu Nuwas. Dhu Nuwas was a Jewish king who led a campaign to force his subjects to convert to Judaism. A group of Christians living in Najran, who had embraced monotheism and rejected polytheism, refused to abandon their faith. Enraged by their refusal to convert, Dhu Nuwas ordered that trenches be dug and filled with fire. The believers were given a choice: either renounce their faith or be thrown into the flames. When the believers remained steadfast in their devotion to God, they were cast into the fire, martyred for their faith. The Boy and the King, a famous hadith in Sahih Muslim, further elaborates on this event, recounting the story of a boy and a tyrant king, which is believed by many scholars to be connected to the people of the trench. There was a boy who had learned the ways of magic under the king's sorcerer, but later found faith in God after meeting a monk. As the boy's faith grew, so did his ability to perform miraculous acts through his faith in Allah, leading many people to believe in one God. The king, angered by the boy's influence, tried to kill him several times but failed. Eventually, the boy told the king how he could be killed, but only if the king declared his belief in God before the people. The king followed the boy's instructions, and the boy was martyred. However, witnessing this, the people embraced the faith of the boy. In his rage, the king ordered a trench to be dug and filled with fire, throwing the believers into it unless they renounced their faith. This hadith illustrates the faith and sacrifice of believers, and it highlights the ultimate victory of faith over oppression, even in the face of death. Theological significance. The story of the people of the trench is significant because it represents the timeless struggle between belief in God and the tyranny of oppressors who try to extinguish faith. The believers' endurance and steadfastness in the face of persecution are held as examples of ultimate faith and submission to Allah, even when faced with the prospect of death. The event also serves as a warning to oppressors, illustrating that, despite their power in this world, they will face divine retribution in the hereafter for their injustices and cruelty.